Hey, hello. Greetings of the day, wherever you are. Hope you all are fine and staying smart. Today, I thought, instead of posting videos related to my relatives or friends or other known guys, I thought this time I will make a video of the late Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. Okay, so a couple of days back I was just flipping through Gemini astrology book. Okay, and for those who are not from India and who are not very familiar with the Hindu or Indian astrology, there are again a couple of schools, right? So one is the Parashari school, second is the Gemini school, then you have the KP school, the KP astrology practitioners, and then you have say Nadi astrology. While and you also have the Lal Kitab style of astrology. So there are like a couple of ways of uh, practicing astrology or the school of thought that they follow for making predictions. So while I was going through one of the Gemini texts, I saw Indira Gandhi's chart analyzed for multiple events in her life. So the very first event that was mentioned in that book is marriage of Indira Gandhi. And as per the book, Indira Gandhi was married in March 1942. Okay, so let me clearly write that. So Indira Gandhi was married in March 1942. This is the time she got married. Okay, right? So and the chart on the left is the radix chart or her birth chart, and she was born on the 19th of November 1917 at Allahabad. Okay, and let us assume that the birth time is accurate, 2311, which is so it's a nocturnal chart, and moon is the sect. Okay, and since she got married in March 1942, I have also cast the nearest solar return chart, which is basically 19th November 1941. So the solar return chart is for 1941. Okay, so it's 1941 because a little after that, before 1942 November, she's got married. She got married in the month of March, right? So these are the two charts. As usual, as I said, to use this system effectively, you have to have both the natal chart and the solar return chart juxtaposed side by side so that you can really make the best use of this technique, right? Now, since she got married in March 1942, I just thought, let's uh, compute the primary directions using the Ptolemy key. And again, I have used Delphic Oracle software to compute the primary directions and the distribution through the bounds. And again, I would like to say that word, the gold standard in predictive astrology. So yes, this is how the directions, primary directions of Indira Gandhi look like around the time she got married. So as I said, she got married March of 1942. So let's look at the directions in and around that time. So the first thing I saw was a converse direction where the moon is directed to a trine of Mars conversely, right? So moon is conversely directed to a trine of Mars, and I just thought, let me see what the classics talk about this converse directions, or no, talk about this direction. Sorry, and if you see, it talks about moon to the trine of Mars. If you see, I'm talking about the first one, moon converse direction to a trine of Mars, right? So if you see moon to the trine of Mars, right, it talks about desire for sports. See this, if, look at this, if married, it may bring the birth of a son, and if single, the native may marry, right? So if single, the native may marry. So this particular direction, moon to the trine of Mars, obviously is an influencer for Indira Gandhi getting married, or at least the marriage vibrations getting kick-started, right? So yes, now let's look further down. Okay, if you see around 1940, I'm focusing on two significators. So one is the ascendant and the other one is the moon. And the reason we use moon as significator, one is moon happens to be the sect light of this chart, and as per my genius guru, sect light definitely gives a lot of insights on life events. And second is also the fact that moon as a significator governs relationship. So that's where it is, the ancients also used to look at the directions to the moon for marriage. So, and second is of course ascendant. So let's first go with the ascendant. Okay, around this time, if you see, right, let me use a different color. The ascendant, okay, is directed to the terms of Mercury in Leo. Okay, the ascendant is directed to the terms of Mercury in Leo. Okay, now let's see, ascendant directed to the terms of Mercury in Leo. Okay, now there are multiple ways, and trust me, it is observational skills that come into play. If you are not able to observe, then you might miss some important cues to prediction. So if you see, as I said, the moon, the ascendant is directed to the terms of Mercury in Leo. So if you look at this table, right, Egyptian bounds, Leo, okay, and I'm saying that the ascendant was directed to the terms of Mercury. So basically 18 to 24 degrees band, right, the 6-degree band, 18 to 24 degrees in Leo, right? Now 18 to 24 degrees in Leo, right? Now see, when you are talking about predicting marriage, right, so obviously you need benefic influences, definitely significators like Venus, or you need Jupiter. It is highly unlikely that you have like an opposition of Saturn to the 7th house, and it's going to give you a very positive event like marriage. So definitely you need to have a benefic influence for such a positive event for most people. So now coming back, so yeah, ascendant is directed to the terms of Mercury, and that is the 18 to 24 degree band, right? Now see this 18 to 24 degree terms of Leo, right? If you see, Venus in the revolution chart is at 21 degrees of Sagittarius. Now, I mean, I don't know how many times I would have told you. So the trines are 159, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, and Sagittarius and Venus is 21 degrees of Sagittarius. So since the ascendant is directed to 18 to 24 degrees in Leo, the body of Venus falls in that 18 to 24 degree band. So basically, Venus, okay, trines the directed ascendant. So Venus trines the directed ascendant. Venus trines the directed ascendant because your ascendant is in Leo, 18 to 24, and Venus is at 21 degrees of Sagittarius. So Venus falls in the Venus casts a trine to the directed ascendant. Fine. So now a trine of Venus to the directed ascendant. If you see here, Venus sextile or trine to the directed ascendant. If single and of suitable age, the native may marry. Right. So again, it is a direction that is favorable for bringing about marriage. Okay. Now, if you see, we all know, again I'm repeating, ascendant is directed to the trines of Mercury. Now, if you see Mercury, is at 13 degrees of Scorpio. And if you see the 7th house cusp in the revolution chart, the descendant, it is at 17 degrees of Pisces. So if you see, the natal Mercury actually casts a trinal aspect on the descendant. So natal Mercury is trining the revolution descendant, or the natal Mercury is casting a trine aspect on the seventh house cusp of the revolution chart. So Mercury is forming a very harmonious aspect with the uh, uh, descendant of the revolution chart. So again, that is a strong indicator for Indira Gandhi's marriage. Fine, okay. Now let's look at maybe just the moon. So the moon, if you see, is directed to the terms of Mars in Capricorn. Okay, I mean definitely not a very I would say typically when the significators are in the terms of malefics, it's not a very pleasant experience. But obviously, as I said, we want to see what this looks like. So the moon is directed to the terms of Mars in Capricorn. Again, going to this table, you have got Capricorn, and moon is directed to the terms of Mars, basically 26 to 30 degrees, right? So moon is directed to the terms of Mars, 26 to 30 degrees of Capricorn, right? Now, if you really see, Jupiter in the revolution chart is just 25 degrees. So obviously, in a couple of weeks or months, it's going to touch the 26 degree, because obviously, in this year, Jupiter is not going to be static at 25 degrees. It's going to be 26, 27, 28. So it will make sure that in this whole year, it pretty much completes, like moves from Taurus to Gemini. So the moon is directed to the terms of Mars in Capricorn, and the body of Jupiter actually falls in the directed terms. So basically, it's like saying moon is directed to the terms of Mars, but the body of Jupiter falls in the directed, or in the directed moon. So Jupiter falling in the body of the directed moon, I mean sorry, the body of Jupiter falling in the directed moon again is an indicator of marriage. Okay, body of Jupiter falling in the directed terms of the moon, right? So that is one more benefic kind of influence, right? Now remember, her marriage happened in 1942. So around 1941 she completes 1941 minus 1917, which is her birth year, right? Right. So she completes 23 years, right? So hope suddenly I become weak in subtraction. 1941 minus 1917. Yeah. So she completes 24 years, and her 25th year is running. I'm sorry. She has completed 24 years, and currently she's running her 25th year. So basically 25th year is the same as the ascendant sign. So the profected sign is the same as the ascendant sign. So profected sign is 27 degrees of uh, Cancer, right? The profected sign is 27 degrees of Cancer, and the profected Lord is Moon. So the planet Moon happens to be the Lord of the year, because Moon is the Lord of the profected sign Cancer. Now see this. Moon in the revolution chart is at 16 degrees of Scorpio, and if you see, your descendant of the revolution chart is 17 degrees of Pisces. So the Lord of the year Moon, the perfected Lord, because now Moon is also an important chronocrator, the Moon again is trining the perfected descendant, 4, 8, 12, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. So the Lord of the year Moon again casts a trinal aspect on the revolution descendant, or the seventh cusp of the revolution chart. So again, that's a very and another important thing is, I would say, even Jupiter, right? So if you see now, the perfected ascendant is 27 degrees of Cancer, okay, which is basically uh, somewhere here, right? 27 degrees of Cancer will be somewhere here, the perfected ascendant, and Jupiter, right? Jupiter again casts a sextile aspect on the profected ascendant. So again, a benefic kind of influence on the profected ascendant, right? So again, remember, if Jupiter is casting a sextile aspect on the profected ascendant, so it is definitely going to cast a trinal aspect on the profected descendant, because if profected ascendant is 27 degrees of Cancer, the profected descendant is going to be 27 degrees of Capricorn, right? So profected descendant is 27 degrees of Capricorn, and Jupiter at 25 degrees is also going to cast trinal aspect on the profected descendant, right? So there are a lot of benefic influences on the seventh house, and then you have already seen you know how uh, and another point is I just wanted to, yeah, I think I have pretty much covered. So I think this is enough proof that marriage was very likely during this particular time frame, because the solar return chart and the natal chart together give lot of indications for marriage. And another thing that I saw, I mean, just she got married in March, whereas if you see in April, another direction, the ascendant was directed to an opposition of moon conversely. Now this basically means the descendant is conjunct moon, because if the ascendant is directed to an opposition of moon, obviously the descendant is directed to a conjunction of moon, or the moon conjuncts the directed descendant, and this again is a primary direction for marriage as per the text. So many combinations which are in favor, and this is how uh, Indira Gandhi got married, and this is how I would analyze it using the beautiful technique of primary directions and distributions to the brown. So I hope you liked it, and let me know in your comments, and I'll be posting many more videos, maybe some more related to Indira Gandhi if I get time, and if I have the necessary encouragement. Thank you, and continue to have a nice weekend. Bye bye.